Good evening, StreamYard and YouTube fans. This is Philip Reynolds. If you have any comments or any ideas that you have for me, my email address is posted there at spearprey64@gmail.com. Please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. Currently, I'm at about 73 subscribers, and I would really like to get up to maybe 100 by my birthday, which isn't until May. This is the Pavilion, episode number 31, Glory Days Boxing. Friday Night Fights number 3. We are having Ali versus Ezzard Charles. Ali is in the red corner, and Ezzard Charles is in the blue corner. Ali has 110 stamina to start out with, and Ezzard Charles has 100. Hey, Sean, I'm kind of getting started a little bit early because there's something I wanted to bring up. Ali has the roll with it trait, which is -1 from opponent's power. And Ezzard Charles has counterpoint, which is +1 to all counters from the opponent. I had a question for Rob here, because I'm doing okay, Sean. I was looking at the power thing, and the power for Ezzard Charles when he is fresh is 3, so it brings his power down to 2. But as far as as far as this column on the second column there, where it says, take a look at this. It says right there, it says 1/2. You can't, that gets a 0 and a 2. That's kind of doesn't make sense to me, but that's what it is. Well, actually, it's not 0. It would be 0 and 1, not 0 and 2. It's be 0 and 1. So that's kind of odd to me. It seems just kind of odd to me, but that's what Ali's trait is. So, and if you did not catch my last video, I got 3 of these made today. This is the Glory Days Racing board. I have 2 of these. I had 3 of these made, and one of these I'm going to give away to the winner of the YouTube Race League second season that's going on right now. But there's a catch. You cannot own a copy of this. So the racer has the whatever is the first one that doesn't have a copy of this will get a copy. I will send out a copy of this board to them, whoever it is. So that leaves, I know that leaves me out. I know it leaves Rob out, and I think it leaves Chris out as well. Chris Stratomatic Delaware. I think we're the only 3 that I know of for sure that actually have this. And yeah, it's one of them. The way I look at it, you gotta, just like the Super Bowl, you have the Lombardi Trophy, and so in our red, white, and blue league, why not a laminated race board, that somebody else can use? It's just the way to promote the way I look at it. It's a way to promote the games, get fans interested, and have people maybe interested in finding out about the Keith Avalon's Red, White, and Blue Racing. So yeah, there's that, and depending on if I can, this Saturday I wanted to finish my last race that I created with Chris, but I don't know if I'll get a chance to because my phone. This is the last day of the month for my phone, and I don't need to re-up on my jet. But what I want to do sometime soon is I want to do I want to play Glory Days of Boxing and Red, White, and Blue Racing. But we're not doing like boxing first and racing second, or racing first and boxing second. No, we are going to do both things at the same time. We're going to box and race at the same time. Now, and I asked this on my I can't remember which episode it was, but I asked this on my Pavilion, one of my Pavilion episodes recently, and what is it that Red, White, and Blue Racing and Glory Days of Boxing have in common? Well, they're sports, but that's not it. I mean, if you look, and I'll pan down here so that you can see this. If you look, these are the dice for Red, White, and Blue. I'm sorry, Glory Days Boxing. And behind them are the right here are the dice for Red, White, and Blue Racing. So the thing that's in common is the red and the blue dice are the things that are common with Glory Days and boxing. And well, I said, well, how can we have one thing influence the outcome of the other game and vice versa? Well, for Red, White, and Blue Racing, it's simple. After a turn, when you're finished with the turn, whatever red and blue turns up on the dice, if it's 5-4 like this, that's what determines ring leadership for that turn and for the for that round in boxing. And yeah, that was my first thing. For racing, basically it's the idea that the red and blue determine the ring leadership in red and in the Glory Days boxing. The other thing is, and I thought this was interesting, the next thing that came to my mind is Rob's pedal to the metal. And that's the fact that if a racer can, vault up the charts, like I think it was Dave Little did the other day, where he had 8 successive, pedal to the metal challenges in a row that he won. And that's the idea that in boxing, in the Glory Days boxing, you'd have what would be called a heavy salvo. And what that means is whoever won ring leadership that round would have 8. Say for, we're using Dave as an example. He had 8 possible he had 8 passes. So in our glory days of boxing, that would mean that he would have 8 total tries. But the thing, I mean, he'd get to land 8 possible punches. The thing with it, though, is that if those punches give a fighter the 15-0 margin, you stop right there and it becomes a TKO check. It doesn't matter if it's only 1 attempt or 2 attempts or 3 attempts, but wherever it is, if one fighter gets 15 points ahead of the other one, it's an automatic TKO check to see if the fight continues. And the other thing with it is that if there are no punches landed, that's it. If there's a clinch, that's it. So, like with Dave Little, he had 8 attempts. You would get 8 attempts with him. So, yeah, you could possibly knock a fighter out and change the outcome of a fight that quick. And what I called that is the idea of a heavy salvo type thing. But then you go, well, how can glory days of boxing affect the red, white, and blue racing? And the thing I came up with was the idea of if there's a positive knockdown or a positive TKO, say like we have Ali and he knocks out Ezzard Charles. So that means that the top group, I kind of lumped the top and the bottom group together. That would mean that the top and bottom group would get checked for a trouble. Okay. And you would start at the end and work your way up. And then the other thing would be that if there was an opponent that had a TKO, say Ali, knocked out Ezra Charles, then the middle and the bottom groups would get checked for a trouble, and if they pass the trouble, they're fine. But if they don't, then they're out of the race. So that's how, when I was thinking of it, that's how the boxing would influence the racing, and the racing would influence the boxing. And it's just something different, a different way to play it, and yeah, it's kind of outside the box, but yeah, it's that's the thing with games. You kind of have to, sometimes you have to think outside the box in order to try something new. But yeah, I want to, as soon as I can, I want to play basically red, white, and blue racing and boxing simultaneously. Like if Glory Days of Boxing started first, then after round 1 is over, then you do turn 1 of red, white, and blue racing. So in a heavyweight or middleweight fight, there's 15 rounds, and so you basically have to use heavyweights or middleweights for this particular thing to work. But yeah, that's kind of my idea. And I don't know when I'll get to try it, but that's one of my projects on the back burner. I also have the APA project that I want to work on sometime soon, where it's like you have the same lineups for 2 teams. You play, like if it's Reds and A's, you would play 10 games at Cincinnati, 10 games in Oakland, and you would have the same lineups and same pitchers for 20 games. Yeah, I know it might sound like overkill, but the idea is if you're using the same thing, does the outcome change, or is it the same all the time, or whatever? But yeah, that's kind of what I want to try to see, because in all honesty, I'm guessing that it should be like a 50-50 split type thing, but I don't know. So okay. And tonight we have Ali and Ezzard Charles, and we there's our Glory Days of Boxing chart. And with that being said, I'm going to pan down here. I'm going to tighten that up a little bit. No, that's too much. Oh, there you go the other way. Yeah. All right. And our first roll of the night, we've got a 3 for Ali, and that is outside 2. And for Ezzard Charles, that is also an outside 2. And since Ali's first, we'll look at his numbers first. And he rolled a 27 on the outside, and that is 3 punches. Okay, 3 punches landed. And the red dice was a 15, so that does not fall into Ali's power check or at all. So we will move on to Ezzard Charles' roll for his punches landed. And that is a 90 for Ezzard Charles. That's clinch. That's no punches landed. Okay. And that means we will check the judges' scorecard here. Judge 1. Okay. Judge 2. Judge 3. Okay, that was a 4. I missed that. Okay. And that takes us to segment 240 of the first round. That's 2 on the outside for 2 on the inside for Ali, 2 on the inside for Ezzard Charles. That's a 93 for Ali, and that's a clinch. So no punches landed at all in that round. See what the chart says about this. Okay. Oh, you do. I didn't think there'd be a roll on that, but we'll see what it says here. That's a 9. Okay. $18. And the third judge. 18. Okay. We're at the 220 mark. And 3 on the outside. So this will go strictly towards Ali. And that is, he got a 4 on that, which is 4 punches landed for Ali. Oh, wait a minute. Seven, 0. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm gonna have to redo this sheet, but that's all right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to redo the sheet, but that's all right. Okay, 12 is above the power check, so we go to segment. We're at the 2-minute mark now. Round 1. We got 5 for Ali, 1 on the outside, 1 on the outside. So Ali goes and that is his roll here is 16, and that is 4 punches. That gives him 11 already, and that is a 6. That is not in his power. That's above his power range. So we roll for Ezzard Charles, and this will be on the inside. And that is a 93. That is a clinch. That's no punches landed for him. Takes us to the 140 mark. That's 3 on the outside for Ali. So this is Ali here. That's 53 on the outside. 2 punches land. Okay, and that takes us to the 120 mark. And that is nothing for Ali. And that is 2 on the outside for Charles. And that is a 97, which is a foul. And it is a foul because his foul check is 5. So he gets 1 punch for the foul. And let's see what the foul is. It's a 20, which is a rabbit punch. And rabbit punch. And the rabbit punch, first time is just a warning. That gets us down to the 1 minute mark. We have 3 on the outside for Ali with a 52. That is 2 punches land. Okay, and if he can get 1 more punch to land, then there will be a TKO check here. We're down to 40 seconds in the first round. 2 on the outside, 2 on the outside. And since Ali's been landing the punches, that's 63 on the outside. That's missed, so he gets nothing there. And we check for Ezzard Charles to see if he lands any punches. 14. We got 24 on the outside. He gets 3 punches in. All right. And yeah. Okay. We got 3 on the outside for Ali. All right. And that is a 9. That is 4 punches. that will make it 19-4. And 19-4 is a TKO check, and he needs two or a one to be knocked out for this, and he gets a 5. So we keep rolling. All right. Two on the outside. 2 on the outside. 93 for and that's a clinch, and that is no punches landed for segment. So after the first round, it's 19 for Ali with punches landed. And for Ezzard Charles, he had 4 punches land. Okay, that gets him down to 81. And let's check the judge's chart here. There's a 15 difference. Okay. That's a 5 for the second judge. Okay. All right. Okay, round 2. Just starting round 2. It's just taking me a while, and I'm forgetting that it's not just a 1 and type thing. Oh, wait a minute. Where's the... Okay. Sorry. There we go. That's 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside. Ali goes first. That's 36, and that's on the inside. And that will be 3 punches land. Okay. 240. Okay. That is blank for Ali, and that will be 1. Ezzard Charles gets this one. 68 on the outside is miss. Check for opponent's counter. Ali gets 3. As you see, the red dice there is 3, so he gets 2 by a hook. But Ezzard Charles' trait says add 1 to all counters, so Ali gets 3 more. So it's 5-0, and we're up to 220. This will be Ali's because Ezzard Charles has no threes. So 12 for Ali on the outside. That is 4 punches land. It gives him 10. And we'll do a power check, which the power thing was 10. That's outside of Ali's range. So we go on to the next roll. We're at the 2-minute mark now. 1 on the outside. 0 for Ezzard Charles. Double zeros for Ali, which is 5. And we're already checking for a TKO of Ezzard Charles here at the 2-minute mark in the second round. And that is 17. And that's way outside Ezzard Charles's range there. So we keep rolling. Go down to 140. And that is 3, which is 2 on the outside. 4, which is 1 on the outside. This goes to Ali, which is 4. And that's 4 more punches. That means 19. And that's above the power check for Ali. So we go to the 120 mark. And we have 5 for Ali, which is 1. 2 for Ezzard Charles. This will go to Ezzard Charles. 25 on the outside. He lands 3 punches finally. And that's above his power thing. So, yeah. So that means we go to the next segment. We're at the 1-minute mark. And Ali gets 3. So this is him. This is 99. We're going to check the event chart here. What do I do with the event chart? Okay, let us roll for the event chart. Event chart says 20. Referee forced to warn both fighters for intentional blows. Each lands 1 punch. So 20 to 4. And that puts us to the 40-second mark. Right. We've got 3, 2 on the outside, 2 on the outside. Ali will go first. 68 on the outside. Miss. Okay, for Ezzard Charles. That winds up being a 90, which is also a miss. Takes us to the 20-second mark. 1 for each, which goes to Ali. And he gets 4 for his punches. And that gets him to 24. And we're going to, and that is a 1 on his power check, which means we'll check for a knockdown for Ezzard Charles. And that's a 13, so that is no knockdown. But for Ali, he almost landed enough to cancel this fight, and got 4 punches for Ezzard Charles. So it's a 111 minus 7. Okay, what do the judges have to say? Let's see what the judges have to say for this round. The difference of 20. No. On the mat, please. Okay. 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 And the last one. Okay. That takes us to round 3. All right. Let's see what we got with the rolls here. 2 on the outside for Ali. 2 on the inside for Ezzard Charles. Ali gets 39 on the outside, which is 3 punches. And what, yeah. And we've got a 9 for Ezzard Charles on the inside. He gets 4 punches. So we go to the 240 mark. 2 on the outside. 2 on the outside. 88 for Ali to start this. Clinch, no punches land. Takes us to the 220 mark. Two on the outside. 2 on the outside. Ali gets a 77. On the outside, that's a miss. Okay, for Ezzard Charles. 23 on the outside, and that is 3 punches landed. Takes us to the 2-minute mark. Two on the outside for Ali. 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. That's a 3. That's 5 pinches for Ali. Gets him to 8 for Ezzard Charles. We have 44 on the outside, and that's 2 punches. Okay. Takes us to the 140 mark. And this will go to Ali. That's 3 on the outside, 2 on the outside. 35 for Ali on the outside is 3 punches. Okay. And takes us to the 120 mark. Two on the outside. 2 on the outside. 68 on the outside for Ali. That's miss. For Ezzard Charles, we get 16. Also on the outside, that's 4 punches land. And that's a 7 would be for his power, so that's way above his power. So we go to the next segment. 1 minute mark. And this will go to Ali. That's 3 on the outside, 2 on the outside. And that, to me, looks like a 23 for Ali. On the outside, which is 4 more punches for him. And we go to the next, we're down to 40 seconds. Two on the outside, 2 on the outside, 29 for Ali on the outside. That's 3 punches. And that's way above his power, which says 13, so it's way above his power. So we roll for Ezzard Charles, and he has a 62 on the outside, and so he misses his punches. And this is our last. We're down to 20 seconds here. And 3 is 2 on the outside for Ali. 1 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. We get a 29 on the that's a 29 on the outside, and that's 3 punches land, and that is the end of this third round. And that's 21 punches land for Ali, and 13 punches land for Charles. $36. Okay. Minus 13 puts him down to 98. Okay, let's see what the judges have to say. And I like rolling it over here for the judges. Okay, Judge 1, and that's a 9-point difference. Five. Okay. It was an 8. Okay, and the third judge. Okay, we are going to the fourth round, and Just so you know, Ali has is a perfect card so far for all three judges. It's Judge 1 says 30 to 27, Judge 2 says 30 to 26, and Judge 3 says 30 to 27. So Ali is winning on all three cards so far. But I mean, 19 to 4, 24 to 4, and 21 to 13. You can see why that the judges are ruling in favor of Ali. We're going to the fourth round here, and we are gonna roll at the 3 minutes to go. It's the start of the fourth round. That is 2 on the outside for Ali, 2 on the inside. Ali goes first. It's an 88, and that is a clinch. No punches landed. We go to 240 mark. Two on the outside. 2 on the outside. 71 for Ali. And that is a miss. Ezzard Charles, that is a 98. 98 is a foul. And I like to re-roll this just for the heck of it. And that is above his foul, so that because his foul is 5, and that's a 13. So there's no foul, but he gets just 1 punch for that though. Okay, we go to the 220 mark. One on the outside, 2 on the outside. So this goes to Ezzard Charles. It's above his power rating, which is because I rolled a 5 on that. And 75 on the outside. That is a miss. We will check for counter. That is a 6. And Ali's counter is a 7, which is 2. And as we know, +1 to all counters for Ezzard Charles. So Ali gets 3 punches. And that takes us to the 2-minute mark of the fourth round. And that's 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles, 1 on the outside that's 3 on the outside for Ali. That gives him a 63 on the outside. That is a miss. We'll check the opponent's counter. And that is a 4. It was a 4, and it still is a 4. So that means Ezzard Charles gets is up to 3 on the punches, so they're all even on punches so far. And that will take us to the 140 mark here in this fourth round. Okay. 1 on the outside, 2 on the outside. So this goes to Ezzard Charles. That's 79 on the outside. And that is a miss. And counter for Ali is a 3, which means 2 via hook, but we have to add 1, so that's 3 via hook. So that now makes if you look at the, we're going to be at the 120, but it makes Ali with 6 punches and Ezzard Charles with 3 punches. Okay. And let's see what we got here at the 120 mark. That is 3 for Ali, 2 on the outside for Charles. We have a 61 on the outside for Ali. And that is 2 punches land. And two punches land. And that means roll for a. Oh, that's if he hits. Okay, wait a minute. Let me see something here. Miss. Okay. That's what I thought. Counters if he misses. So he did miss. So miss. And this is for Ali. 11. 11 is on be on his outside, which is 4. It doesn't matter. Plus the counter. Wait a minute. 11. That's way above his counter. So yeah. So I was looking at the wrong thing. So we go on. We're at the 1 minute mark. Okay. Nothing on the inside. 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. He's got a 34 on the outside. And that will be 3 punches land. And that is just outside of because it was a 4, just outside of Ezzard Charles' power check. He needed a 3 or less. So we go to 40 seconds to go. That's 3 for Ali on the outside, 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles, 77 on the outside for Ali. That's a miss. So we check the opponent's counter, and I like to roll for this. And that's way outside the counter, so there's nothing there for Ezzard Charles. Last roll in the 4th round. And we've got 2 on the outside. Blank for Ezzard Charles, so this goes to Ali. 78 on the outside. That's miss. And we're going to check the counter here for Ezzard Charles. He gets 4, which is 2. He gets 2 punches for a hook. And that round is even, 8-8 as far as punches landed. And let's check and see how the judges do this one. 20. And okay, that's judge 2. And final judge. Six. And we go to the fifth round here. And so far it's unanimous so far, but we know just from last time that unanimous doesn't mean somebody's going to win the fight. That person's going to win the fight. So we are going to roll here. That is 3 for Ali, 2 for Charles. Got a 30 on the outside. So that is 3 punches for Ali. And power is 3, so we will check. I mean, his power is 4 and under, so we will check to see if there's a knockdown here. It's got to be 3 or less, and it's a 7, so that's no knockdown. Takes us to the 240 mark. 2 on the outside, 1 on the outside, 69 for Ali on the outside is 0. Check for counter for Ezzard Charles. It's 12. It's way above the counter. So we go to the 220 mark. 1 on the outside, 1 on the outside, 80 for Ali on the outside is a miss. And for Ezzard Charles, 47 on the outside. And that's 2-point punches for Ezzard Charles. We are at the 2-minute mark of the 5th round. One on the outside. 1 on the outside. And Ali's leading, so 84, that's clinch. That's no punches landed. We're at the 140. Blank for Ali this time. 2 on the inside. And that's a 6 for Ezzard Charles, and that will be 4 punches. And that will take us down to the 120 mark. Three on the outside. 0 for Ezzard Charles on the inside. We get a 99 on the dice, which is check rare event chart, which we will roll here. And that will be a 14. Let's see. "14 says fighter goes to canvas, avoiding wild hook. Ruled a slip, no punches landed, go to next segment." So there is no punches landed there. We're at the 1-minute mark. 2 on the outside for Ali, 1 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. 65 for Ali on the outside. That is a miss. And that is, That's a miss, so there were no punches landed there either. Takes us to the 40-second mark. I'm going to re-roll that because that was hung up in the corner. Okay, that is 2 on the inside for Ali, 1 on the outside for Ezzard Charles, and 83 on the inside for Ali is a clinch. So no punches there. We go to the last roll for the 5th round. 2 on the outside for Ali, 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. And Ezzard Charles will get this one because he's leading in punch total here. It's 35 on the outside. And that will be 3 more punches. And for Ali, that is a 94 on the outside. And that's clinch, no punches landed. And this round will go to, as far as punches landed, goes to Ezzard Charles. He got 9, and Ali got 3. So okay, let's see how the judges handle this one. There's a point differential of 6. Okay, that's judge 1. It was 15. It was 15. Okay. Okay, and the last one. Okay. That takes us to the beginning of the 6th round, and it's getting closer, but so far it's still pretty unanimous here. At this point in the match, Ezzard Charles is down to 25 stamina, and Ali is down to 81 stamina. So Charles is getting fatigued, but he's not totally fatigued yet. All right. We've got 2 on the inside for Ali, 2 on the outside for Charles. Charles won that last round, so he goes first on the outside, and that is a 62, which is a miss, so he gets nothing. Ali on the inside, 37. That is 2 punches land, and that is in his power, but there wasn't enough. He had to have like 3 or more, and that was only 2 punches. So we go to the next segment, which is 240. It's 54. That's 3 for Ali, which is 2. 2. Both are on the outside. Ali goes first, 54 on the outside. That's 2 punches. For Ezzard Charles, that's 29 on the outside. And that will be 3. And you see there, that's 1. That is within his power because we have to subtract the 3, which means 2 or less. He's got 1. So we are rolling, and with Ali, there's only one thing you have to get, which is a 1 for a knockdown. And no knockdown there. So the 220 mark. 3 on the outside for Ali. 1 on the outside for Charles. A 30. Geez, I'm going to re-roll the white. 32 for Ali on the outside, and that will be 3 punches. And because it's 3 punches, the die says 2, so that will be a knockdown check. So we need to roll 3 or less for Ezzard Charles to be knocked down. Oh, and he just misses because that's 4. He just misses. So we're down to the 2-minute mark. 0 on the inside for Ali. 1 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. 28 on the outside. It's 3 punches. And power is 3, but Ali, you subtract a point from the power, so he needed a 2, and he got a 3. So he just missed trying to see if he got a knockdown for Ali. All right. 2 on the outside. 2 on the outside. Let's see here. Ali's leading, so the 65 is on the outside for Ali first. He misses. 75 on the outside for Ezzard Charles is also a miss, so neither one of them got anything that segment. 140. That's 2 on the outside for Ali. 2 on the outside for Charles. 80 on the outside is a miss for Ali. 94 for, that is a clinch, so there is no punches landed by either person that time. We're down to 120. 2 on the outside. 2 on the outside. Ali's winning, so that is a 1. And that is 5 punches. Okay, and 13, as you see, is above Ali's power, so there's no check for power there. And now we roll for the outside for Ezzard Charles. He gets an 80 on the outside, and there's nothing there for Ezzard Charles. We're down to 1 minute. Two on the outside for Ali. Two on the outside for Ezzard Charles. I'm going to re-roll that because it kind of looked that we're leaving that as a 1 because that was a 1. We're on the outside, 56 on the outside. That's 2 punches for Ali. And because it's 2, its power is 1, so it passes it, but he only landed 2 punches. If he would have landed 3, it would have been a knockdown check. So we are rolling for Ezzard Charles, and this is also on the outside. I'm going to re-roll that. It's a 13 on the outside, and that will be 4 punches. And that is, with Ali, he needs 2 or less, and that's 16. So we're down to 40 seconds to go. 3 for Ali. It's 2 on the outside, 1 on the outside. So this goes strictly to Ali, and it's a 49 on the outside, and that will be 2 punches. And we'll check defense here. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that's right. Check defense, but it's way above the defense. So we are down to, this is the last of round 6. 2 on the outside, 1 on the outside. So this goes to Ali. That is 0-0. That's 5 punches. 21-10. And that is the end of the round. That was above his power check, by the way. That's the end of the round. And 2. So now we're going to roll for 11. We're going to roll for our judges here. 20. Okay. Score. That is okay. Judge 2. Okay. Judge 3. 17. Okay. And that will take us to the 7th round. Can we get out of the 7th round alive here? If we get out of the 7th round, this will be the longest match we've had so far. So we will. Okay, 3-minute mark. round 7. That is 1 on the outside, 1 on the outside. Ali is leading. That's 88. That's clinch. We go to the next segment. 240. 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside. This goes to Ali, and that is 33 on the inside. That will be 3 punches. And he didn't get any punches. I'm gonna roll for counter just to make sure. And that is a 6 on counter. So we're gonna give 2 punches to Ezzard Charles there. And we're at the 220 mark. 2 on the inside for Ali. Nothing for Ezzard Charles. 32 for Ali on the inside is 3 punches. We'll check, and that is above his power. So we go to the next segment. 2-minute mark. 2 on the outside, 2 on the outside. This goes to Ali first. 3 is 5 punches. And we will have a knockdown check for Ezzard Charles. And he needs, we'll have a knockdown check on Ezzard Charles. And that's a 3. That's a chin check. Okay. So he's knocked down. And 2 or less, and the fight's up. I'm going to have to go get that. 2 or less, and the fight will be over here. So again, 2 or 1, and this fight's over, and that is a 4, and we will roll for Ezzard Charles on the outside. And that is 3 on the outside, which is 5. 5. And I believe we're at the 120 mark. Okay. 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside. This strictly goes to Ali. 20 on the inside, 3 punches. Okay. And let's check for defense here. 13, that's above defense, so nothing for Ezzard Charles. Takes us to the minute mark. 2 on the outside, 2 on the outside. 51 for Ali on the outside, and that'll be 2 punches. And Charles, 33 on the outside, and that will be 3 punches. We're at the 40-second mark. Okay, 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. We give this to Ali. 8. That's 4 punches. And 10 is above his power, so 4 punches. So now we roll for and that will be an 11 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. Will be 4 punches. And this is the last segment of round 7. Okay. 2 on the outside. The strictly goes to Ali. It's an 8 on the outside is 4 punches. And it's above his power. So that was really, really close. 24 punches landed to 14 punches land. Okay. Okay. So that is 57. So going into the 8th round, Charles is finally fatigued, and Ali has still has 57 stamina left. So going to the 8th round, the 3-minute mark. Let's roll. And that's 2. Oh, wait a minute. Before I roll, I have to roll what the judges have to say. Okay. Let's see. And there was a. Okay. Oh. Oh. Well. Okay. And the last judge. Okay. And now we're finally ready for the 8th round. And now Ezzard Charles is fatigued. So we'll be looking at his 2nd column as far as the power ratings go. Right. 2 on the outside for Ali. 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. Okay. Ali goes first here. 71 on the outside. Misses. 54 for Ezzard Charles. Okay, he gets 2 punches. And check for defense for Ali. That is a 6. And well, he didn't get anything anyway, so that's nothing there for Ali. Okay. 240. We got 1 for on the outside, 2 on the outside. This goes to Ezzard Charles. That is a 9 on the outside, and that will be 4 punches. Okay. And he got a 7 on the counter, which is 2 for Ali for cross. We're at the 2-minute mark. One for Ali on the outside, 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. That's 49. That will be 2 punches. And defense is 6. So he basically didn't get any punches then. So that means that Ali countered those pretty much. We're at the 140. 5, 1 on the outside, 2 on the outside. This goes to Ezzard Charles. 2 on the outside. He gets 5. And since he's fatigued, that's above his rating there. So, yeah. And it's Ali's turn. I mean, not Ali's, but it's our next. We're at the 1-minute mark. Or 120-minute mark there, sorry. That's 3 on the outside, 2 on the inside. This is Ali. This is 69. And that'll be a miss. Check opponent's counter. That says 19. So that's nothing. 1-minute mark. 3 on the outside for Ali. 2 on the outside. This goes to Ali. It's 83. Clinch. No punches land. 40 seconds to go. 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. 2 on the outside for Ali. 68 for Ali on the outside. That's a miss. 91 on the outside for Ezzard Charles is also a miss. It's clinch basically, so there's nothing there. And we come to the last part of round 8. 2 on the outside for Ali, 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles, 93 for Ali. Wait a minute. 93 for Ezzard Charles on the outside. Clinch, no punches landed. That's the end of the 8th round. 11. Still fatigued. And 2. That means Ali's down to 46 stamina. And we will roll here for what our judges have to say. And there is 9-point difference here. And that is a 9. 11-point difference. Oh, 9-point difference. Okay, it goes. Okay, judge 2. Okay. And judge 3. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Going to the 9th round. Ali has 46 stamina left, and Ezzard Charles is fatigued. So we go to the 3-minute mark of the beginning of round 9. All right. That is 2 on the inside. They were both 6s. 2 on the inside, 2 on the outside. 34. This will go to Ali since he won the last round. Wait a minute. This will go to. I'm sorry. It will go to Ezzard Charles first. 34 on the outside, and that's 3 punches for him. For Ali, it's an 82 on the inside, and that is a miss for him. So we go to 240. Two on the inside, 2 on the inside. We're still going with Ezzard Charles first, and that was a 17 on the inside, which is 4 punches. And let's see what we get from Ali. 33. What was it? 33. And also on the inside, and that is 3 punches. We go to 220. One on the outside. One on the outside. Ezzard Charles goes first here. 56. That's a miss. Ali. That is a 55. That is also a miss. 2-minute mark. 2 on the inside. 1 on the outside. This goes to Ali. And I'm going to re-roll this because that was kind of cockeyed. Unable to. That's 20. So 3 punches land for Ali. And that is above his power range. So we go to the next segment, which we're down to 140. 1 on the outside. Nothing for Ali. That's double zeros on the outside for Ezzard Charles. That will be 5 punches. Okay. And that is, since he is fatigued, he needed a 1, and there's no that's way above what he needed. Okay. Gets us to the 120 mark. 2 on the outside, 0 on the inside for Ali. We've got 45 on the outside for, and that's 2 punches for Ezzard Charles. And since he didn't get anything, we'll check for his counter, and he gets 2 for, so he'll get 3 for counter for that. Ali does. And we go down to the minute mark. 2 on the outside, 2 on the outside, 38. And I believe, jeez, I can't remember. I can't remember who hit last time. But I'm going to give it to Ezzard Charles first, since he's leading in punches. 38 on the outside is 3 punches. And for Ali, I'm going to re-roll that. It's a 74. And that is on the outside. And that is a miss. So that will take us to the 40-second mark. 82. So 2 on the outside, 3 on the outside. This one goes to Ali. 82 on the outside is a miss. An opponent counters. That's 12, and that's way above the counter. So last of this round, we've got 2 on the outside for Ali, 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. Ali won the last time. That's 27. 3 punches landed. And that is within his power. So let's go ahead and we'll check for a knockdown after this. 38 on the outside. 3 punches for Ezzard Charles. And that's way above his power, because it's 1 is all he can use. So now we do a knockdown check for Ezzard Charles here, and it will be a 9 or less, and that's above that, so there is no knockdown, and that will be the end of the round. Still fatigued. And let's check the judges here. Okay, that's 4. Okay. That's 2. 11. And the third judge, 1. Okay. All right. We go now to the beginning of the 10th round. Go to the beginning of the 10th round, the 3-minute mark. 3 on the outside for Ali, 2 on the outside for Ezzard Charles. 15 is what Ali lands on the outside, and that would be 4 punches. 19 is what was rolled, so that's above his power. So we go down to the 240 mark. 2 on the inside, 1 on the outside. This is 9 for Ali, and that will be 4 punches. And we will, and that is a 7. And that is within the knockdown range. So that is a knockdown. See if it's a TKO, 4 or less. And it is a 2. So in the 10th round, that's it, guys. In the 10th round, Ali TKOs Ezzard Charles. And I need to check and see. I think that was at the 220. So roll that. 18. 1d6. So 3. No. That would be the third segment. So so at the 209 mark, with 2 minutes and 9 seconds left in the 10th round, it took me a while to figure it out. Ali gets a TKO on Ezzard Charles. That went 10 rounds, and according to the cards, when I going into the 10th round, Ali was winning 86, 82, 87, 84, 87, 84. So that's 4. So Ali was winning by 10 points going into the round. So our fight night, our Friday fight night, number 3. Goes to Ali. So, yeah, and I started just after 8. So that's an hour and a half, 10 rounds. That's pretty good. That's not bad. Not bad. Rob, if you're still in here, and I didn't know if because you weren't in when I first got here. I wanted to give a copy of this board because like I said, I had 3 of these printed out. I want to give this to the leader of the second season of YRL, but there's a stipulation that it doesn't go to somebody that already has one of these boards. And I think the only people I know of that have it so far are me, you, and Chris. So I wanted to give whoever kind of wins the league or is the next one in the standings point to a copy of this board, and you'll have to give me the. You'll have to let me know who the person is, and so I can contact them and send them out one of these boards. We've got a new that's a new record as far as how many rounds we went. We went 10 rounds tonight. Our previous records were 6 and 7, and this went 10. And yeah, so that is interesting. You'll also have to, Rob. You'll also have to check out my idea for uh, where I'm going to play. I'm going to play red, white, and blue racing and Glory Days of Boxing, but I'm not going to play like Glory Days of Boxing first or red, white, and blue racing second. I'm going to play Glory Days of Boxing and red, white, and blue racing together. Where what it'll be is I'll do like one round of boxing first, and then we'll switch and we'll do one turn of red, white, and blue racing as well. And the other thing is the red and blue dice from red, white, and blue racing will determine who gets ring leadership in Glory Days Boxing. Also, if there is a pedal to the metal situation in red, white, and blue racing, we will get and Sean was here for this. If we have a pedal to the metal situation in red, white, and blue racing, what will happen is and I'm using the David Little situation that you had recently, where he got 8. He passed 8 cars. Well, that means that whoever wins this, and in this case, red, that would have been Ali tonight. Ali would get 8. That's right, 8 unopposed actions. But there's a stipulation with that. First off, if he misses a punch, that's it. If he clinches, that's it. And also, if he gets to 15 punches, and we're saying that's like maybe, say, on the third salvo, or what I call heavy salvo, then you would stop and you do a TKO check then. And if he passed that, then you would continue until all the salvos were kind of done, type thing. It's just something that I thought of. I mean, it's different, it's interesting, but and if Chris, if you happen to watch this, I'm also going to shoot you off an email, but I probably won't get to be online to finish our practice session because tomorrow is the first of the month, and my phone will pretty much, because I haven't paid my phone bill yet, I won't be able to be online. No, I haven't gotten my football game yet, Sean. Um, and they told I got an email saying that they should have shipped it last Saturday or this Monday. And I've checked with my landlords, and I haven't got it yet. Maybe it'll come tomorrow. I'm also uh, expecting a package from Chris. So yeah, he said that probably won't show up until till Tuesday, and I will unbox that as soon as it gets here. You might not understand it, but I will be nice, and I will uh, I will open it up for him. Ollie was our winner, TKO. He will be put in the winners bracket, and Ezzard Charles will be put in the losers bracket. Um, I hope all your rolls are ones and 66s in baseball. In boxing, I hope you win by a TKO like Ali did tonight. If it goes to the judges, I hope it's unanimous or you get a split decision. In baseball, I hope if you don't if you don't get the ones and the 66s, I hope you get to take the game to extra innings. And with red, white, and blue racing, I hope you get the pole position. And I hope you get plenty of sixes so that your pedal is to the metal the whole race. So, and maybe if you're lucky enough, who knows, you might get on TV, be a TV driver. That would be nice as well. So, this is Philip Reynolds. I love you. God loves you. Take care. And I'm not exactly sure when I'll be on next. Just make sure that you click on notifications so that when I'm on next, you will get a notification. And have a nice night, guys.